Queen Mary's jewelry collection has long fascinated historians and collectors alike, and among its many treasures were 3 brooches featuring one of the rarest and most coveted gems in the world, conch pearls. 2 of these brooches were sold at auction decades ago, their provenance well documented, but the fate of the third remained a mystery. For years, its whereabouts were unknown, leading to speculation. Had it been quietly sold, hidden away in a private collection, or perhaps even stored in the royal vault, waiting to be rediscovered? Yet now, against all expectations, this long-lost brooch has resurfaced. And not just anywhere, it is currently for sale in an exclusive antique jewelry boutique in New Orleans. It's a rare event when a royal jewel of such historical significance appears on the market, especially one with ties to a queen known for her discerning taste and passion for collecting exceptional gemstones. Queen Mary's jewelry casket never ceases to amaze, and the reappearance of this piece is an event worth noting. So, what makes this brooch so special? How did it end up in a high-end antique boutique halfway across the world? And could there be more to its story than meets the eye? In this video, we'll take a closer look at Queen Mary's conch pearl brooches, explore the origins of this remarkable piece, and unravel the mystery of how it traveled from the royal collection to the open market. Before we begin, please support my channel by clicking on the like and subscribe buttons. Thank you. At the end of January, an intriguing piece of royal history quietly emerged on the market. One of Queen Mary's long-lost brooches had been listed for sale. Now available through the prestigious antique dealer MS Rao, this brooch is an elegant yet striking example of early 20th century craftsmanship. Measuring approximately 3 inches in length, it is a refined bar design, where geometric symmetry enhances the natural beauty of its gemstones. The focal point of the piece is a breathtaking 14 mm natural pink conch pearl, an extraordinarily rare gemstone known for its delicate, flame-like structure. It is flanked by 2 other natural pearls, an 11 mm white South Sea pearl and a 12 mm black Tahitian pearl, each possessing remarkable luster and depth of color. The pearls are set in a sleek platinum frame, encrusted with 1.30 carats of caracut diamonds, whose crisp, linear facets add brilliance without overpowering the composition. The result is a piece that balances Art Deco elegance with an almost modern simplicity. Before we dive deeper into the history of this brooch, how it came into Queen Mary's collection and how it ultimately left it, I want to take a moment to highlight what makes the pearls in this piece so extraordinary. Understanding their rarity and significance will help us truly appreciate the exceptional nature of this jewel. Unlike traditional pearls, which are formed inside oysters and are composed of nacre, conch pearls are entirely natural, non-nacreous formations, created inside the queen conch mollusk, Lobatus gigas, a species of sea snail found in the warm waters of the Caribbean. Their distinctive, creamy, porcelain-like surface and signature flame structure set them apart, making them one of the rarest and most sought-after pearls in the world. Why are conch pearls so rare? Unlike cultured pearls, which are produced through human intervention, conch pearls occur purely by chance. They are found in only 1 out of every 10,000 to 15,000 conch shells, and of those, less than 10% are considered gem quality. The formation process remains somewhat mysterious, as the structure of the conch's spiral shell makes it nearly impossible to determine exactly where inside the mollusk the pearl grows. Typically, these pearls are discovered only when the conch is harvested for its meat, making their collection entirely incidental. Adding to their exclusivity, no successful method of culturing conch pearls has been developed. Unlike traditional pearls, conch pearls lack a nacreous coating, which means that they cannot be produced through traditional pearl farming techniques. Though scientists have made attempts, most notably a 2009 experiment that yielded a small number of cultured pearls, no reliable commercial production has ever been achieved. This ensures that every conch pearl on the market is a true natural rarity. The conch pearl featured in Queen Mary's bar brooch is an impressive 14 mm, a size that is already exceptional. To put this into perspective, finding a conch pearl over 10 millimeters is considered extraordinary, making this brooch a true masterpiece of natural gem rarity. The origins of Queen Mary's bar brooch remain one of its most intriguing mysteries. Unlike many of her other jewels, which have well-documented provenances, the exact circumstances surrounding how this brooch entered her collection are unclear. The dealer currently selling the piece, M.S. Rao, provided a brief and somewhat puzzling statement, claiming that the brooch was almost certainly a gift from the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. However, this assertion raises more questions than answers. The key issue lies in the timeline. Queen Mary was already wearing the brooch by 1928, as confirmed by photographs from the Order of the Bath Installation Service that year. Meanwhile, David, then the Prince of Wales, did not meet Wallis Simpson until the early 1930s, and their relationship did not become significant until several years later. He ultimately abdicated the throne in 1936 to marry Wallis, becoming the Duke of Windsor. Given these dates, it seems implausible that Wallis could have played a role in the acquisition of the brooch. One possibility is that the bar brooch was a gift from David to his mother, Queen Mary, before he became king. As Prince of Wales, he may have chosen this elegant piece as a token of affection or respect. This theory aligns with Queen Mary's known timeline of wearing the brooch before the mid-1930s, suggesting that it could have entered her collection well before Edward's relationship with Wallis became public knowledge. Another possibility is that Queen Mary herself may have passed the brooch to David at some point. Despite her disapproval of his marriage to Wallis Simpson, it is known that Queen Mary gifted the Duchess of Windsor a strand of pearls, reportedly through her son. It is conceivable that the bar brooch was another discreetly given piece, intended for Wallis to wear. If this was the case, it follows logically that Wallis may have chosen to sell the brooch later, especially given the Windsors' financial situation in the years following their exile. It is possible that the Windsors, known for their high society connections, gifted or sold the brooch to one of their wealthy friends within their social circle. The reference to a gift from the Duke and Duchess of Windsor could pertain not to the brooch's original ownership, but to how it eventually arrived in the collection of a well-connected American. The descendants of such a person in the United States might now be the ones selling it. However, at the time of preparing this video, no direct references to the Duke and Duchess of Windsor could be found on the MS Rao website or in their Instagram post about the brooch. Initially, their involvement was mentioned, as evidenced by an earlier Facebook post by MS Rao Jewels and citations in various news sources. Yet now, this detail appears to have been removed from most official listings, except for the original Facebook post. This discrepancy suggests that there may have been an error or revision in the provenance statement, raising the possibility that Edward and Wallis may have had no connection to the brooch at all. Another unofficial theory about the brooch's origins has emerged, thanks to a significant clue: the surviving presentation case bearing the name of the jeweler who created it. This case links the brooch to Lorenzo Marzo, a distinguished jeweler of Spanish origin whose firm operated in both Paris and Madrid. Marzo began his career working for his uncle's silversmithing business in Madrid before establishing himself in Paris, where he registered his maker's mark on July 6, 1901. Marzo quickly became known for creating exquisite pieces that reflected contemporary trends, from delicate Belle Epoque brooches with seed pearls and diamonds to bold Art Deco designs featuring geometric shapes and vivid color contrasts. Given Marzo's prominence in both France and Spain and his well-established connections to the Spanish aristocracy, some have speculated that this brooch may have been a gift from Queen Victoria Eugenie of Spain, Queen Ena, to Queen Mary. Queen Ena, a granddaughter of Queen Victoria, maintained close ties to the British royal family throughout her life. Even after her marriage to King Alfonso XIII of Spain, she frequently visited England, and she shared her grandmother's passion for fine jewelry. It is known that the Marzo firm crafted pieces for Spanish royalty, so if Queen Ena commissioned a jewel as a gift for her mother, Princess Beatrice, or for a close royal relative such as Queen Mary, it would not be unprecedented. This theory aligns with the time frame of the brooch's Art Deco aesthetic, which Marzo's firm was known for developing in the 1920s and 1930s. The geometric precision of the diamond setting and the emphasis on rare gemstones are in keeping with the bold yet refined designs that Marzo produced during this period. If this brooch was indeed a gift from Queen Ena, then its path into Queen Mary's collection is relatively straightforward. However, it still does not fully explain how or when it left the royal family. Queen Mary often paired this brooch with another of her cherished conch pearl jewels, a pendant brooch featuring two exceptionally large pink conch pearls. Unlike the more geometric bar brooch, this pendant piece was designed in the Edwardian Belle Epoque style, with an airy platinum framework set with small rose-cut diamonds. At its center sat a 24.9-carat deep pink conch pearl, with a 28.1-carat oval pearl suspended below, forming a striking arrowhead shape. This brooch was one of the finest surviving examples of conch pearl jewelry from the early 20th century. In many photographs, Queen Mary can be seen wearing both brooches in combination, arranging them in different ways depending on the occasion. Sometimes, she secured the pendant brooch near the neckline while placing the bar brooch lower on the bodice. On other occasions, she pinned the bar brooch to her hat while wearing the pendant brooch on her dress, creating a carefully balanced, multi-layered look that was a hallmark of her jewelry styling. The conch pearl pieces, with their soft pink tones, were particularly suited for daytime engagements, and Mary frequently wore them for royal functions, including public ceremonies, family gatherings, and formal visits. These two brooches, along with a third piece, a clover-shaped conch pearl brooch featuring a mix of pink, white, gray, and golden pearls, were among her most treasured pearl jewels. However, unlike the majority of Queen Mary's collection, which was inherited by Queen Elizabeth II, the conch pearl brooches took a different path. Upon Mary's death in 1953, they were passed not to the Queen, but to her only daughter, Princess Mary, Princess Royal and Countess of Harewood. For decades, the fate of these brooches remained unknown until 1999, when the pendant brooch and the clover brooch were auctioned at Christie's in Geneva. The pendant brooch, with its remarkable pair of conch pearls, sold for 119,000 Swiss francs, while the clover brooch fetched 63,250 Swiss francs. Following the sale, the pendant brooch resurfaced in 2005 when it was featured in the Allure of Pearls exhibition at the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History, confirming its continued appreciation as a historically significant jewel. But what of the bar brooch? If the other two conch pearl brooches were sold by Princess Mary's descendants, it is reasonable to speculate that this one followed a similar trajectory. Could it have also been inherited by Princess Mary and quietly sold at some point in the mid to late 20th century? If so, why was it not part of the 1999 Christie's auction? Was it sold earlier, perhaps before the auction, or did it remain in the family for longer and change hands more recently? You know, I couldn't help but think, how incredible would it be if King Charles III, Queen Mary's great-grandson, decided to acquire this brooch and bring it back into the royal collection? A piece with such a rich history, once worn by his great-grandmother, reunited with the rest of the royal jewels, it would feel like closing a long-lost chapter. And even more exciting, imagine if a member of the royal family actually wore it again. Whether pinned to a hat, styled on a coat, or incorporated into a modern ensemble, it would be wonderful to see this historic brooch not just preserved, but also brought back into use. But what do you think? Would you like to see this brooch return to the royal vault and be worn once more by a member of the royal family? Or do you believe it's destined to remain in private hands? I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think of this elegant and historic jewel? If given the chance, would you want to own a piece like this? If you have any additional information about the brooch or its provenance, feel free to share in the comments below. I always enjoy learning from you and discussing these fascinating royal mysteries together. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into royal jewels, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new story. See you in the next one.